said to myself, I said, self? Myself said, huh? I said, do the people know my story? I said, that's a good question. So I'm going to tell them. I grew up in Fort Wayne, Indiana with my mom and my dad. And at the time, it was just my sister. We're 4 years apart. I remember as a child just not always understanding why God created me this way. I grew up very strong-willed. I got in trouble a lot. Having a sister who was quiet, chill, laid back, of course, I got compared to her. Why don't you do things like her? Why aren't you quiet like her? Why you have to do this? Why you have to do that? When my mom was pregnant with my younger sister, I remember being at church and a minister at the church was praying for me, but he was praying for me so that my younger sister, who my mom was pregnant with at the time, would not be like me. He was just like, oh, I rebuke it. I remember him spinning me around. She would not be like you. She would not be like you. She would not be like you. Like, I remember those words. I'll never forget it. At the time, I was 9 years old. Just growing up, not being liked by adults and not being understood, you know, being the one who had an attitude, the one that was gonna roll her eyes, the one that was disrespectful. I felt like people just did not know how to handle me. Now, I'm not the victim here, okay? I had areas where I should have been, you know, obedient. I should have been respectful. But I wasn't just trying to be disrespectful. I didn't wake up like, oh, I'm going to go here and I'm going to cut up. That is not how it worked for me. I just felt like I always had to defend myself, or if I felt like you were mistreating me, I had to speak up for myself. And a lot of times at an immature age, I did not know how to do that. That's that. Fast forward to 13 years old, I was in 7th grade. I was going to Black Hawk Middle School, shout out. And I was on the dance team. I was just happy. I felt like I was, you know, thriving. My dad was like, yeah, we're moving next spring break. I was upset. After we returned to school, I started telling everybody I was leaving, I was moving. I was acting out. I was upset. I started getting in trouble. I started getting ISS. I started getting suspended. I just was angry. I felt like, why are you taking me from my friends? Why are you ruining my life? I was childish. But no, I just felt like my dad hated me for that. Very immature. I remember my dad coming to us before spring break came, and he was just like, I'm not going to make you all move. I'm going to wait until the summertime and then we're going to move. And so I remember being excited because I wanted to be able to finish the school year with my friends. And I felt like I was in a good place. I don't remember the Florida talk. Like, I don't remember hearing anything about moving anymore. So I started kind of getting comfortable, like, okay, maybe we're not moving. And then out of nowhere, here comes North Carolina, a small town called Goldsboro. Not sure where that was, never had heard of it. I just still remember being so angry. Like, I remember my sister writing me this long letter, and she was like, May, I love you. I don't want you to be angry. And in a nutshell, she was like, we said that we would give Florida a chance. That's before, you know, it switched to North Carolina. And I just was upset. I was like, why? I had a hard time. So 2 weeks before we moved, my dad allowed me to go stay with a friend. And in that time frame, I actually lost my virginity. I lost my virginity to somebody I knew for 2 days, okay? And we had sex in a coffee shop, on a coffee shop bathroom floor. Now, saying that in the 2021 pandemic is disgusting. But no, the disgusting part is I lost my virginity and I shouldn't have. But anyway, I can talk about it now because it's like, this is a part of my journey. This is my testimony. This is what happened. I love keeping it real. So I'm going to always share my story. And so with losing my virginity at such a young age came emotions that I was not emotionally mature enough to handle. As time started moving forward, I started becoming more promiscuous. I started just having sex with numerous people. And at that time, for my age, it was way too many people. And so you're talking about all the spirits that was coming in, all the soul ties that was coming in, and me already angry, already misunderstood, already upset, dealing with all of that. So with that, I also ended up in the juvenile system. There was a situation between my parents and my father and I ended up in the court system. And so what was supposed to be a 6-month probation period turned into 2 years, 2.5 years at that. In between these time, I done been locked up. I done been sent to juvie. I've been to court numerous times. I was still having issues with my parents, and it was just rough. It was really rough until one day, December 2011, going into the New Year service, I just was tired. I was tired. I just was like, God, I don't want to live like this anymore. I don't want to be angry. I want to be in a better place. And so I rededicated my life back to the Lord. I just started slowly but surely changing. I didn't change overnight. I didn't stop cussing overnight. I didn't stop having sex overnight. And I didn't start being the perfect child or not disrespecting my parents overnight either. But what I did was gave God my yes. And I just asked him to help me to get through each day. Here I am, 16 years old, just really striving to live for God. Twitter was my main thing at the time. I just started speaking positive. I changed what my Twitter looked like. Back in the day, my name on Twitter was She Soaked. Okay, no way should that have been my name. Which is how I eventually transitioned to Sweet Mary Kay. When I got saved, I was like, I need new Instagram names and stuff. Sweet Mary Kay became my name on all my platforms, and I just stuck with it for now. Well, that's been 10 years almost. I just really started turning the corner. I remember one of my former classmates coming to me and was like, okay, man, I'm gonna see if you really saved. I'll catch you in about 6 months or something. He gave me some type of time frame that was like, I'm gonna see. And I remember him coming back to me and he was like, I gotta give it to you. You was for real. You was really trying to live right. And I wasn't trying to be perfect. And I know sometimes I came off as too saved, too deep. I was just really passionate, and I wanted my peers and other people to just understand how powerful God was and how he had changed my life at that time. So that's the first part of my story. And so stay tuned because the rest is to be continued.